Hi, I'm Scott Apel, video critic for the San Jose Mercury News, and I'm here to welcome you again to The Prisoner, one of the most intriguing and most talked about television series ever made. The Prisoner was produced under the creative direction of its star, Patrick McGoohan, who also wrote and directed several episodes. It first aired in Britain in 1967 and made its American debut in 1968. Viewer response was so positive that CBS rebroadcast the series the following year. Since that time, The Prisoner has attracted wide critical acclaim and a large cult following. Now that it's found its rightful home on public television, longtime fans will be happy for the chance to see it again, as only one viewing of this classic series never seems enough. Tonight's episode is appropriately entitled Arrival. For you first-time viewers, this episode sets the stage for what will be a 17-part journey into strange and often confusing territory. Or to put it another way, Arrival is the first piece of a unique 17-part puzzle. Puzzle is a good word to describe The Prisoner because it is a mental challenge that operates on many levels. On the surface, the series appears to be a kind of offbeat spy adventure show. In the opening sequence of each episode, we see a man, Patrick McGoohan, storm into a British government building and angrily resign from his post. We might assume he's a top-level spy. We might even guess he's John Drake, McGoohan's character in his old Secret Agent series. The man returns to his flat, now followed by an ominous black hearse. And as he packs to go on holiday, he's gassed into unconsciousness. When he wakes, he finds himself in a place known only as the Village, which appears to be some sort of idyllic resort. But the truth is far more sinister. The Village is, in fact, part Oz and part 1984, a place from which apparently there is no escape, a prison for people who know too much. There are no answers in the Village, there are only questions. Questions like, who runs the Village? Is it the prisoner's own people? Or is it the Russians? Or is it the Bavarian Illuminati? Another question often raised is, where is the Village? Is it even a real place at all? Or is it just a state of mind holding us all captive, if we let it? As the series unfolds, more and more questions are posed, and the answers are most often left as an exercise for the viewer, who can get as much out of it as he or she chooses. After tonight's episode, I'll be back with a few questions of my own, and maybe even an answer or two. But for now, sit back, relax, and enjoy your arrival. In McGoohan's old Secret Agent series, the theme song said, "They've given you a number and taken away your name." In the Village, this is literally true. No one there has a name. The prisoner is referred to only as number 6, and the question he most often asks is, who is number 1? Who is in charge here? In episodes to come, we'll see that there are many number 2s, but they come and go every week, interchangeable wardens in the unchanging prison that is the Village. Is McGoohan trying to show us that we're all just interchangeable units in a robotic society? Or is he trying to warn us about the dehumanization that's occurring in society all the time, rapidly turning us all into numbers? These concerns, this social commentary, were in part a product of the time in which The Prisoner was produced. The late 60s were a time of rampant paranoia. The media is controlling us, the government is controlling us, computers are taking away our identities. Is the Village of the Prisoner simply a microcosm of society as we feared it might become? But the late 60s were also a time of nonconformity and social protest, and the questions the series raised then are still valid today. What rights does an individual have within society, and what responsibilities? How does a true individual exist in mass society without having his uniqueness brainwashed out of him? What makes The Prisoner so important is not necessarily the fact that McGoohan dealt with these kinds of questions, but that he translated them into timeless universal symbols and examined them as such. For instance, what's the meaning behind the ever-present umbrellas, or the giant roving balloons, or the high-wheeler bicycle? With symbols like these, The Prisoner reveals an allegorical, almost mythical nature, Nothing is quite what it seems on the surface. Every object in action has a deeper, hidden meaning. But enough intellectualizing. The bottom line is that The Prisoner is fun and a joy to watch. The scripts are smart and suspenseful, full of irony and dry wit. The performances are first-rate. Even the music contributes brilliantly to the weird atmosphere of the series. It's a marvelous adventure show, full of fast-paced action as well as intellectual stimulation. So don't get too bogged down in hidden meanings. McGowan himself had this to say about the series in a 1968 interview. It would be a grave mistake to see this show as anything but an entertainment of a certain type. But if you do find yourself pondering pieces of the puzzle, McGowan also had these words of encouragement. There are, within the series, answers to every single question that can be posed, but one can't expect the answer on a plate. What McGowan is saying, I feel, is that the only meaningful answers to the series, as in life, are the ones you arrive at yourself. The series acts more or less like a mirror to stimulate your own reflection. In the weeks ahead, I'll be here to act as a guide to the series, not necessarily to provide answers to your questions, but perhaps to help clarify them so that they can be answered with a bit more ease. And I'll be going into the background of the production, personnel, and symbology of the series as well. We're also going to embark on a bold experiment. Ever since they were first broadcast on American television, the 17 episodes of The Prisoner have always been run in a particular order, an order plagued with little inconsistencies and problems in continuity. And so, after many hours of viewing episodes and discussion with a number of longtime Prisoner fans, we've decided to reshuffle the episodes into a brand new order. We feel that this repositioning clears up most of the internal inconsistencies, as well as harmonizes many of the major themes of the series. Hopefully, new viewers will be able to follow the developmental progress of these themes with greater ease. Old viewers will see how new episodes, once widely separated, mutually illuminate one another when shown closer together, and everyone can get a new perspective on this 20-year-old classic. We certainly can't claim to have solved the Prisoner puzzle, but we do think this new order makes much more sense than the way the show has been distributed in the past. Next week, for instance, we'll be airing Dance of the Dead.